city I claim.
Los Angeles,
California, west side we bang. In the city I claim.
Okay guys, so good morning. Coming to you from the rooftop of my hotel here in busy Kathmandu. I know the last video I was in Pokhara, but I came back yesterday and I didn't film it because you've already seen that bus trip, but it was crazy again. Anyway, today I'm going to show you my gear for Everest Base Camp. So I'm going to take you down there now and show you what I took and what I recommend, and kind of just like the essentials really, and maybe a few extras that hopefully will help you if you're going to base camp. And if you're watching this video, maybe you are, otherwise you're probably just interested. So I'll start with one of the most important things for trekking. That would be shoes. These are real Salomons, they're not fakes. I do use a lot of fake gear, but one thing that I will not use that's fake is shoes. Shoes and bags are the two main things that I think you should use real. These are really good shoes if you're kind of a bit more experienced with trekking, because obviously they don't have the ankle support. But if you're kind of like a beginner or an intermediate trekker, then I'd probably recommend shoes with ankle support. I've done the Everest Base Camp trek 2 times. The first time I did it with ankle support, that was 2 years ago, and then now I did it again with these shoes. I prefer these shoes a lot more. A few reasons. They're a lot lighter, and a gram on the foot is like a kilogram, so it makes a big difference. Also a lot more agile if you want to do a bit of running, depending on what kind of a trekker you are. And obviously these are a little bit cheaper than full-size boots. I'm going to leave all the equipment linked below the video that I used, Amazon links, but I think these are around maybe just over $100 US. I have given these things an absolute beating. I'm not sponsored by Salomon, I wish I was, but I'm not. But these things are pretty grippy. You can walk down like vertical rocks almost. It's like Spider-Man shoes.
Spider Pig does whatever a spider pig does.
Highly recommend those. And next up we have something very valuable, because up in the guest houses you have to pay to charge things like your phone or your camera batteries or anything else that you have that's electronic. So this is a solar power charger, and this actually works really well. You just attach it to the back of your bag while you're trekking. I can't recommend this guy enough. I got this off Amazon for super cheap. It's like $20 or something, and yeah, you just leave it in the sun, and it doesn't have to even be fully sunny. It can be slightly overcast. As long as it gets a bit of light from the sky, then it should get a pretty good charge out of it. So highly recommend. My cell phone, if you want to have that to take like quick photos or listen to music, I highly recommend listening to music, because sometimes you need that extra motivation. Next up I have pants here. So these pants are fake North Face pants. They're really waterproof. I've worn these in like torrential storms. On the way back from base camp last year, it came down a whole day raining. My legs were completely dry. So you can buy those in Kathmandu. Otherwise I will leave some real equipment linked below to Amazon as well, and you can kind of choose. Obviously the real North Face stuff is going to be much better quality, but if you're on a budget, then buy it in Kathmandu. Next up is a North Face jacket, kind of similar style to the pants. Fake Gore-Tex, but it works. That's a waterproof jacket. So I have one kind of light waterproof jacket, and then I have a soft shell just in case it gets really cold, so you can wear the waterproof over the soft shell. So that's the soft shell jacket there. The amount of people that ask me if that's real North Face, I think it just goes to show that there isn't too much of a difference. I mean, obviously the fit's not as good and the quality's not as good, but in terms of how it looks and how it performs, it's fine. I have a merino wool hoodie here, and that's very important to have because you don't want to be using cotton up in the mountains. Obviously you can take t-shirts for during the day, but I really recommend like this kind of shirt. I don't even know what kind of fabric this is, but when it gets wet you don't get too cold. Better yet, merino. Merino is the best that you could possibly have. Any brand of merino really, it doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff as long as it's real. Otherwise, if you're on a budget like me, then you can buy these cheaper shirts in Kathmandu, and these are just kind of like long sleeves, synthetic material, warm and keep you cool at the same time. Next up I have my camera bag here. This also has like a waterproof overcover that comes out the bottom. That's very handy if you're into photography and things. Take that trekking with you, keeps all your stuff dry, and it's padded on the inside as well, and it's got like different compartments, different pockets are all around the side, so that's another handy thing. I got this off Amazon. Next I have the day pack here. This is an Osprey. I've had a lot of bags in my time, and in my experience Osprey are the best bags. They've got a lifetime warranty, good quality, lots of accessories, places to stash things. This is a 33 litre. This is what I travel with like full time. This is perfect for a day pack if you're going to base camp. It depends if you're going with a group, because if you're going with a group, like a company, then they will supply you with a duffel bag. You can stash all your stuff in that and the porter will carry that for you. If you're not sure about porters and you haven't seen my Everest series, then I've explained all about porters and how it's not actually a bad job, because it's a very well-paying job compared to many other in Nepal. So if you're unsure about using a porter, they're commonly known as Sherpas, but Sherpa is actually an incorrect name for these people, because these people are porters. Sherpa is actually a race of people who live higher up in the mountains, and a lot of Sherpas are the guys that do the actual summit to Everest, and they're the ones that carry the gear. That's why there's the confusion, but the ones that go to base camp are called porters, even if they're Sherpa race or whatever other Nepali race. Otherwise, if you're going by yourself, then you'll need a bigger bag, maybe like 60 litres, and you can attach your sleeping bag and everything you need to the outside. It's really up to you if you want to go with a guide or a group. I used a group because I was sponsored by this company to come along and make videos of the whole operation. I do recommend it if you're kind of less experienced in the mountains, then it's almost essential, I'd say, if you're a beginner, that you need to go with a group. Otherwise, if you're really advanced, you obviously already know that you can probably pull it off, but obviously, you know, do your own research and stay safe. So this is the duffel bag that they'll normally supply you with. And that's completely waterproof, and the porters will carry this. They'll pick it up from your room in the morning and drop it off to your room in the afternoon before you get there, because they're a lot faster than you, even though they're wearing flip-flops and carrying like 3 of these bags per porter. Next up, we have the sleeping bag here. I highly recommend. Just kidding, it's an absolute essential.
That's the coolest story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
You need this no matter what time of the year you're going. Like I've said, I've done base camp trek twice. The first time I did it in March, so it was a lot colder. The second time I did it in October. October's a lot warmer. According to what time of the year you're going, kind of depends on how much extra gear you're bringing. I never had to use the soft shell and the jacket. I only had to use the merino and the waterproof. But last time I had to wear like 3 layers. And that was in March. Depends on the season you're coming in. If you're coming in the later part of the year, it's a bit warmer. Obviously, as you get into November and December, it's going to get cooler, but around September, August, it's a lot warmer. But obviously, you always bring extras in terms of warmth, because you don't want to be cold up there. You're already dealing with enough pain. And if you're going in like March, April, then you'll need to take more warmer gear because it'll be colder. As far as sleeping bag goes, I rented this. I think they cost like $1 a day. The company can organize that for you. So if you go for 12 days, then that's $12 rental for a warm sleeping bag. Next up, we have this guy. This is a little lifesaver. This is a battery charger for my big camera that I'm filming on now, but it's USB. So I can plug this into this guy here, this solar power charger, and I can charge my batteries for my camera, so I don't have to plug them into a wall outlet. And as you get higher into the mountains, charging gets very expensive. You're looking at $5 for one charge. It's very important if you want to cut costs to buy one of these and use solar charger, and then you can buy these for super cheap. Depending on your camera, you can get a lot of these for a very good price. This guy has 2 USB outlets, so it's super handy. You could charge your phone and you could charge your camera battery at the same time. This thing here, if you're wondering what this sexy leopard print material is, don't judge me. This is the last one they had. I didn't choose this. This is a neck kind of pullover thing. So these cost like $1 in Kathmandu, and you just pull it over your neck, and it can also act as like a hat or a beanie. It has many purposes. These are super useful, and they add so much warmth. It's unbelievable for $1 how much warmth you can add. The original brand is Buff, but these ones are obviously fake, but just as good. Next up, I have a GoPro here. This is really good, especially if you're just making videos for just like your own kind of personal videos. Then GoPros is super handy. My one sadly started malfunctioning like halfway up the hill, so I didn't get to get much footage on that, but I'll be getting that repaired soon. Next up, we have water purification tablets, and these are incredible. If you want to save money, buy these. You can buy these in Kathmandu at the supermarket for less than $3. 100 litres worth of water for less than $3. You need 1 tablet per litre of water. You get the water out of the tap at the guest houses or the tea houses, the accommodation where you're staying. Put one of these in, wait for half an hour, your water's good to drink. Otherwise you'd be paying, at the furthest point, you can pay $3.50 for 1 litre of water. So this is one of the most important things. I recommend this to everybody. If you have like a bit more money to spend, then you can buy bottled water, but otherwise use purification tablets, or you can use the life straw bottles or something similar to that. But yeah, that's a big way to save money. Next up, I have something that I know is going to probably cause a few discussions in the comments section, and that is these little guys. This is Diamox. I'm not 100% sure of the medical description, but as far as I know, it helps create more red blood cells. I know I'm probably going to get abused in the comments for talking like this, but anyway, it helps you breathe better up the mountains because it somehow generates more oxygen, and as you get to higher altitude, the highest point on the Everest Base Camp trek, if you decide to go for the Kalapatar mountain, just under 5,700 meters, 50% oxygen than that of sea level. I didn't use these pills the first time, but I did use them the second time. The second time was a lot easier for me. I don't know if that was because I was fitter, the weather was warmer, or because I took these pills, but it's really up to you. And obviously do your own research. I'm not like recommending pharmaceuticals at all, but I think these helped me. I'll say that much. You can buy these over the counter in Kathmandu. How much did this cost? $1 for 10, and that's enough basically for the whole trek. The dose for these that I've been told, half in the morning and half at night. But do not listen to anything I say about drugs. You need to go and do your own research. Disclaimer, disclaimer. Talk to your own doctor, do your own research. If you want to get these in your own country, you can get them. It'll be more expensive, but you will get professional advice. You can get them in Kathmandu at the pharmacy. You can still get professional advice, but it's up to you whose professional advice you want to take. And then underneath all this stuff I have what's called a dry pack. You probably know what it is. This is completely waterproof. I was keeping my laptop because I was taking my laptop for editing. You probably won't be taking your laptop unless you're going to be making videos or whatever, but you can keep all your camera equipment in here if it starts raining really hard, if there's a storm. This folds up, it's 100% waterproof. I highly recommend this. These are absolutely great. One last thing I forgot to mention, guys, is this water bottle here. This is about $5 in Kathmandu. It's BPA free. I think the same ones in Western countries, these cost about $20. Obviously this is fake, but apparently it's still BPA free. If you're going to be drinking purified water with the purification tablets, then this is an essential. This carries 1 liter of water. You can fill this up at the guest houses and the restaurants because there's a lot of guest houses and restaurants. You can fill that up. Also here we have the trekking poles. So trekking poles I cannot recommend enough. They're actually so helpful. You may look at them and be like, no, I don't need them, but trust me, they will save your life on the way up, and especially for me, on the way down, they save your knees. On the way back, you walk like 3 days, 9 hours each day. Your knees are just getting hammered, smashed, walking down steps, over rocks, off camber, you know, and having those extra arms, it's basically like having 2 extra legs.
Spider pig.
You can buy obviously real ones. They cost in between $100 and $200, or you can get them in Kathmandu for $8.50 for the fake ones. I did see a few of the fake ones have problems, but all the ones that I've ever bought are absolutely fine. And I actually bought these poles 2 years ago, different ones to these, but I bought them 2 years ago when I did the trek, and then I did 2 years of trekking, trekked with them all over Europe, did the Tour de Mont Blanc, I did lots of trekking in New Zealand and obviously in Nepal. They were $8.50. I had absolutely no problems with them. The way that I actually lost them was they fell off a cliff in New Zealand, which I was really gutted about. So you can buy the real ones if you want, otherwise you can buy these here in Kathmandu. If they come loose or anything, you can take them apart and just play with the mechanics, because if they come loose then maybe they just haven't been put together properly by the people at the shop. So just make sure all the little screws and stuff are done up tight, and they should be absolutely great. I love these poles, but I'll have to leave them in Kathmandu sadly, because tonight I'm getting on a plane and going to another country. I'm going to... Anyway, so that's all the gear, guys, and now I'm going to give you a bit of advice just in general. Altitude is a serious thing. If you've done it before, then you'll understand. It's no joke. It makes everything 100 times harder. The key is water. Water is number one. Better than any drug or anything I've just showed you is water.
And that's what I call high quality H2O.
If you want to really do it, then drink like 6 to 8 liters of water every day and just force yourself. You might not want to, but just do it. Trust me, you'll be grateful if you force yourself to drink the water, because a lot of people don't drink water and they'll get sick. And obviously it's not just the water, but the water contributes so much to bringing down headaches, making sure your muscles don't dry out and your joints and everything, just clarity, and your brain will operate better and you'll be happier. So force yourself to drink the water. I already talked about going by yourself or with a guide. If you're going by yourself, then I recommend you find a trekking partner. It's quite serious up there, and you never know, like even if you're professional, you could slip or something could happen, you know, and if you don't have a buddy there, then it's not good. If you're a beginner to lower level intermediate, then I would recommend you go with a trekking company. I recommend this trekking company, Himalayan Scenery, because they help me out and I've known the guys for a few years now. So I will leave all the information for that trekking company linked below. Have a look at their website and see what you think and tell them I sent you. The trek takes 12 days. You will fly into the airport on the first say, the crazy Lukla airport. Really scary, but extremely fun and adventurous. The most dangerous airport in the world and the highest airport in the world. And then you will walk 2 days to Namche Bazaar, a beautiful place. You'll spend 2 nights in Namche Bazaar, 1 day acclimatizing. After Namche, you keep walking a couple days, and then you'll have another acclimatization day at about 4,400, I think it is, meters. And then you have 2 more days to push to base camp. And then if you want to, the day after base camp, if you make it to base camp and you still feel like you want to go on an adventure, then you can climb Kalapatar mountain. That is what I really recommend. You have to get up at 4 in the morning, but it's so worth it. It is the best view of Everest that you can ever see within like this level of trekking. You climb up to just under 5,700 meters. I know a lot of the signs around Kalapatar say around 5,550, but if you actually look up the stats online, it's 100 meters or so higher than that. And if you're very lucky, you'll get good weather and you will watch the sunrise over Everest. There's no words, really, there are no words. First time I had tears running down my face. It was incredible. Nature in its purest form, just so huge and massive, and you get that kind of summit euphoria to witness Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world, and the sun rising over it. Pretty hard to beat, I'd say. Anyway guys, I think I've covered most things. I know I've probably forgotten a few things because there's a lot to think about. I'll write anything that I've missed under the video. If you have any more questions about any equipment or the trek itself, whatever, I'm happy to do my best to answer all the comments. I hope you enjoyed what was in my bag. I'm going to be doing another what's in my bag for kind of general traveling in maybe a month or so, but this is more like trekking equipment. Obviously you can't see my camera setup or my computer or my accessories for my camera. This is more like outdoor gear, so if you want to see more of that, then stay tuned to see what's in my bag for kind of general traveling. Now I have to run downstairs because I'm running extremely late as per usual. I have to get to the airport because I'm going to a new country. I'm flying out of Kathmandu, sadly. Been here for a month, had an incredible time. Nepal is always in my heart, love the place. Coming back next year for sure. Going to go to some new different places in Nepal, do some more trekking, some more adventures, interact with the locals, go to some villages, some festivals. That'll be next year, but in the meantime I'm going to a new country that I've never been to. Should be interesting. Not quite sure what to expect. I'm going to end this video here, start the next one, and you will see in tomorrow's video where I'm going. Thank you so much for watching guys. If you go to Everest Base Camp, have an amazing time because it is truly epic.